Hi, I'm Loran Steinlage of Flolo Farms, West Union, Iowa. I've been born and raised here on this farm. Through my life, I've seen the ups and downs. I've seen our farm evolve. I was hoping my grandson would be with us here today, but I think that's what's pushing me to the next level now. You know, you start seeing that next generation start to take that interest. You know, every day when me and him go crop scouting, ever since last summer when we've seen the fish on our farm, Grandpa or Papa, let's go see the fishy. And that's what's driving, it makes me proud of what we've done on our farm here with our farming practices to make that possible. My dad moved to this farm in 1968. This was considered the poor farm of Fayette County, Iowa. Nobody had ever paid for this farm. But through the management practices of my dad, he learned how to manage this soil. And I've just figured out through the practices that I learned from, this part of the farm we're standing on right now was the neighbor that I used to go and sit and talk to on Sundays and just sit there and talk and learn how things were back in the early 1900s. And a lot of the practices that I employ today are the early 1900s. Now we've tied it to current technology available today to help us do this stuff, but it's allowed us to go back and think, how can we do better with what we have today? The water is the common denominator. You take water away, and that's what brings it all home. I mean, how long can any of us live without water? You know, most of us produce grain or meat. But what matters is that's what's on the plate or in that cup of water that we drink. I've been places where you can't drink the water. It gets pretty ugly pretty quick. You know, I wouldn't be afraid to go down here most days and drink right out of my creek. Some of the early testing we've done are tile line samplings and that. You know, that's where you really got to start paying attention. We can solve a lot of the problems right here on our farms by changing our farming practices. Well, I would say right behind me is something new to the public, but it's not new to me other than the fact that we've changed it up a little this year. This year, on my right, we have open pollinated and then the hybrid rye. What you guys probably can't see on the camera is we do have soybeans on the understory here. This is called relay cropping. We've been actually relay cropping for close to 7-8 years now. I'd have to look back at the calendar for sure, but I first heard about it in 2013 through 2014. I think we went field scale 2015. Relay cropping is what's going on in the field here. We plant the cereal crop. I do it, my fashion is we plant 2 rows of cereal rye in the fall, and then we come in the spring and we plant the soybeans in 30-inch rows in our system. We plant normal in the fall, time-wise. In the spring, I plant normal. And then in the spring, we're mid-July here right now. I'll probably be harvesting here in 2 to 3 weeks, which would put us in that July 20th through July 30th time frame. Then this fall, we'll come in and harvest the soybeans. Doing this on a normal year, my goal is we'll have normal cereal rye yields, normal soybean yields. Well, the open pollinated rye right here, that can go anywhere from cover crop to, in the past, we've had breads and we've got some of the beers and stuff like that. There's some in North Carolina getting malted, or in brewery or distillery right now, actually going to be into bourbon. Now on the right, this is the hybrid, or on the left, this is the hybrid rye. This can only go to the grain market or to the processing market. This cannot be saved for seed. So come harvest, we have to segregate this. So this will go straight either to the flour mill that we're working on, or to the distillery we're investing in, or the breweries and that. So this is a very dedicated market. This gives us options. Everything starts with water. I mean, all the products we consume start with water pretty much in my mind. Most of your breweries and that, they're located where there's a good water source, and that's for a reason. But the neat part is, with some of the testing that's came off of our farm, we proved almost every place can have that if you just adjust your rotation, and learn how to do more with less.